So question 4. So let's take a look. Determine the seating capacity of an auditorium with 15 rows of seats if there are 25 seats in the first row, 31 seats in the second row, 37 in the third row, 43 in the fourth, and so on. Let's draw a picture about what they're talking about. So say something like that. And then as it goes back, it just gets wider and wider. There we go. And so, mine's not the best, is it? All of a sudden it's bugging me. I didn't make this angle go out very well. A little bit more like that. All right, good enough. So this is like the stage up here. And so this is the first row right there, and then the second row, and then the third row, fourth row, etc. And the first row has what? 25 seats in the first row. So 25 seats. And then 31 in the second row. They have more, it gets wider. And then 37 seats. And then 43 seats, etc. And it says that there's 15 rows. $15 rows of seats. Okay, so it's a stage. That's pretty typical, right? At a theater is to have it get wider like that as it goes back. So 25 seats in the first row, and then just keeps going. So they want us to figure out the total number of seats. So how do we figure out the total number of seats? We're just going to need to add them up, aren't we? I'm sure you're just thinking, well, just got to add them up. Exactly. So we just got to go, right, 25 plus 31 plus 37 plus 43, ... right? And so the trick we always use to add up a bunch of numbers in a series that adds the same amount every time is we do the list forwards, and then we do the list backwards. Oops. That's the trick. Forwards and backwards. Okay, so I'm going to write the list backwards. How do I do that? How am I going to write this list backwards?
You'd have to figure out how many seats there are in the 15th row.
I'm sorry, I had a little trouble hearing you.
Would you have to figure out how many seats there are in the 15th row?
Yeah, exactly, Lizette. Good comment. Yeah, in order to do the list backwards, we need to figure out like the last number over here, don't we? Yeah, the 15th row, right? So how? Yeah, well, yeah, because that's the bottom row down here. Well stated. I'm going to draw it right here. Yeah, actually, that's a little like that. There we go. So we've got oh, sorry, it's just bugging me. There we go. So we've got to figure out in this 15th row equal number of seats, huh? Yeah, how in that last row, how many seats are there? How do we figure that out? Because you're right, because we need that. It's exactly what we need to write the list backwards. We need that last row. How do we do that?
Well, they're all going up by 6.
Yeah, they're going up by 6, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So you know what would probably be helpful is the formula again, wouldn't it? So let's come up with the formula again. So the formula, so we'll write out the numbers here. The first number is 25, then 31, then 37, then 43. And remember that the formula is always in the pattern is in the path. So what's the path? The first number is just itself. It's the second number. How do we get that? What are we doing every time to go from term to term? We're adding 6, aren't we? So this would be add 6 twice. The next one is add 6 3 times, etc. And you want to write the term numbers over here. This is the first, right? You always have to write the term number and the path. First term, second term, third term, fourth term, etc. And so this is what? 3 6s. So it's 25 plus 3 times 6. And this one is 2 6s. So it's 25 plus 2 times 6, etc. So you take the term number and you subtract 1, don't you? Like usual. Term number, subtract 1. So the nth term is going to be 25 plus n minus 1 times 6, isn't it? Nth term, 1 lower. So there's the pattern. There's the formula. So what do we want? What do we want to find on this question? The 15th row, huh? Remember what we're trying to find? Find the number of seats in the 15th row. Let n equal 15, right? 15th row. So this formula will then equal, the number of seats will equal this formula right here. 25 plus n minus 1 times 6, plug in n, 15. Is that good? I plugged a 15 into that formula because we're trying to find the 15th row. This is the first row, second row, third row, all the way down to now the 15th row. 15th row. So plug in a 15. The number of seats is going to be 25 plus 14 times 6. Hit the buttons on your calculator. I'm getting 109 seats in the 15th row. 109 seats in the 15th row. So now we can take that number. Are we good there? 109 seats in the 15th row. Let's take it back. Take that number and travel on back up here. All the way back. Oops. And so that's going to be 109. I forgot. 109, yeah. Oh, and this last number over here should be 109, right? This is the 15th row. So 109. And what's the next number going backwards?
$103.
Yeah, how'd you know that? Good job. How'd you know?
The rate of change is 6, so we're going backwards to -6.
Excellent. Yeah, everybody see? This is going up by 6. Going forward, right? Mine is anyway. Adding 6. So then going backwards, it's going to subtract 6, isn't it? Right? When you write the list backwards, it's going to go down by 6 every time. Forwards, it went up by 6 every time. So this will be what, 97, 91, etc. All the way down, this will be 25. So good, good. All right, so now we can add this up and add this up. Use your calculator. 134, 134. Again, they're the same total all the way because one list is going up, the other is going down by the same amount. So we got a bunch of 134s. So the question is, how many 134s do we have?
$15.
Yeah, very good. There's got to be 15 of them, doesn't there? Because there's one for every row. And there's 15 rows. This is the 15th row out here. Every row leads to a 134, doesn't it? So yeah, for sure. So we have 15 times 134, but don't forget to divide by 2 because this is the list twice. Once forwards, once backwards. So use your calculator. I'm getting 1,005 seats. There must be 1,005 seats in that auditorium. Pretty tricky. Using patterns, we were able to figure this out. Let's run over it one more time. What did we do? They gave us the outlay of the auditorium. Starts with 25 seats, goes up by 6 every time, 15 rows. So we wrote it out, but we had to find that last term. That was the hard part. So we came down here, came up with a formula. So to find the 15th term, the 15th row, we plugged in a 15 to that formula and got 109. So that means there's 109 seats in that last row. So we came back up here and the last one was 109. Then we reversed the list, added them up, 134 all the way. How many of those? 15, because there's 15 rows. Divide by 2, because you have the list twice. That's 1,005 seats in the auditorium.